Yo, what is going on, guys? Winner Kills here, and welcome to a brand new locals feature match. We are in round 3, I think, for March 4th's locals. Finally getting caught up this week. And we are in round 3 and not round 2 right now because, again, I think I talked about this in the first round. I forgot to record. I think it was round 2. Might have been round 3, but I forgot to record one of the rounds either way. But so maybe 3 rounds for this particular week's locals. But we've got Dark World on the left, which is piloted by Mr. Joe Vu. You guys have probably already seen his profile. It should already be up on the channel at this point if you guys want to see it. I'll try to link it up in the top right or in the description if I remember. And we've got the Dino Overlord, the Giga Dino Chad of all time on the right, Mr. Jeff, piloting his patented Dino strategy at this point. And we'll see if he has what it takes to defeat the Dark World tactic. And we will see some danger plays kick things off here after an Allure of Darkness. Getting both Bigfoot and Jackalope on the field. They've also got Dark World Archives up. And I had to make sure I had the Dark World cards pulled up on the side here, Mother Monitor, so if I need to know what any of the cards do, I can quickly pull them up. So we're going to see him activate Dark World Accession, which I wish was called Dark World Ascension, but it's called Accession. Every time I read it, it always throws me off. So we're going to see him go ahead and Fusion Summon for the new Dark World Fusion. Grapha Dragon Overlord of Dark World. And then we're going to see him resolve another danger. And then we're going to see him activate Genta in hand, which is basically Dark World Terraforming. That's going to go ahead and add Gates of Dark World. Which I think I know what some of the older Dark World cards do offhand, just because I actually used to play Dark World a very, very long time ago. There is one Dark World deck profile on my channel done by me, because there was a very short period in my Yu-Gi-Oh career where I really, really wanted to play Dark World. And I kind of want to play it again, actually, now with all the new support and stuff. I do like the Wombo Combo play style for those that have seen me play Block BA. I think that these decks are kind of similar. Block BA did play Dangers, but they like to turbo into almost unbeatable fields. And yes, they have their flaws, as most decks like that do. But it is still very fun to play. So getting another Gates established. Genta's effect to search the field spell is not once per turn. And then we're going to go and see him use the second Gates. That is going to banish the Lava Golem, since it is a fiend, discarding Rainbow. Draw a card, and then Rainbow will be able to search, I think it is any level 5 or higher Dark World. I'm pretty sure level 7 or lower Dark World monster. So we'll go ahead and add Silva, which is one of the main combo pieces in this deck. Because when it is discarded by an opponent's card, you make your opponent put 2 cards from their hand to the bottom of the deck. And that is kind of the gimmick of this deck, is to hand loop the opponent. We're going to see him go for Coach King Giant Trainer. Also one of my favorite rank 8s. Used to play it in Photon Galaxy way back in the day. It is an up to thrice per turn effect where you can detach to draw a card. If it's a monster, you burn your opponent for 800. And if it's anything else, you just get to draw a card. Yeah, so it's basically just a draw 3 there. With next to no drawback. I think you don't get your battle phase, but obviously it's turn 1, so what does it matter, right? See him allure, draw 2 more cards, banish the Silva, and then we're going to see him activate another danger. Looks like it will be Mothman, and it will get sniped, which means both players will draw and discard. Looks like he's got a Silva here that he's going to go ahead and discard. And we'll see him discard Giant Rex, discard Silva. Silva effect will proc to go and summon itself back to the field. Rainbow will bounce back the Silva. Very similar effect to Grapha, where it can just bounce a Dark World to return itself to the field. And basically gets 2 free cards back to the hand there. Gets the Silva back to the hand and gets the Rainbow back to the hand. And gets a free body on field. We're going to see him set card destruction. Then use Jackalope. Jackalope will get sniped, summons itself to the field, activates Mothman. I think a second Mothman there. Rolls the dice, hits Rainbow. Mothman will summon and draw, and that'll trigger Rainbow effect again. To go ahead and add... Oh, no, it's not a level 7. I read the wrong part of Rainbow. Add a level 5 or higher Dark World monster. Read the first part. So we're going to see him go ahead and link into Saryuja. Another card that, again, is very reminiscent for me playing in Block Dragon BA. Used to summon double Saryuja in that deck. So it's cool to see that it finds its way into this strategy. Now we're going to see him activate card destruction. Discarding 5 cards. Rainbow, Silva, I think there was a Nessie in there, as well as Zephyros. And it looks like our Dino player discarded multiple Fossil Digs, Harpy's Feather Duster, Lost World, and it looked to be a droplet in there. So almost an entire hand filled with spells. Getting that droplet out of the hand is very good because that could actually just entirely delete the entire Dark World end field. Assuming it's a hand to discard with. So we're going to see him proc the Silva, the Nessie, and I think he might have gotten the effect of Rainbow, unless Rainbow's effect is only a hard once per turn. I know a lot of the Dark World monsters have part of their effects that are not once per turn. Some of them do have once per turn effects. See him use the gates. The 3rd gates, I believe, there. It's going to go ahead and get Ceruli onto the opponent's field. And that is going to trigger Ceruli to go ahead and make the opponent discard one. He'll choose to discard Silva, of course. And since Silva was discarded by an opponent's card, he will have to go ahead and put 2 cards back to the bottom of their deck. So now they only have 3 cards here. And of course, on top of that, you've also just given your opponent a monster. So that is going to make it so they cannot use things like Impermanence. They cannot use things like Evenly Matched. We will see Security Dragon bounce it back, though, for the time being. So you've got to go ahead and get the rest of those cards out of the hand. Now we're going to see them commit a normal summon. I think that was the first normal summon. Well, obviously the only normal summon, but now just normal summoning. I think 7 minutes here into the video. And then linking into Muckraker. One important thing to remember, though, is when you resolve Muckraker, the effect to revive, you are locked into summoning Fiends, I believe, for the rest of the turn. We're going to see him activate a Danger with a billion cards in hand. The Bigfoot does not get sniped. So we get to summon that and draw. He does lose the Nessie, though, but not so bad, even though he has already procced the effect of Nessie to search. Okay, I could just imagine seeing him activate a, what's it called? The beginning of the end. And Ceruli will get special summoned again. I think that was discarded off the Muckraker. And Ceruli will proc and discard the Silva, make the opponent get rid of 2 more cards. And then he'll use Grapha to bounce back that Silva to the hand, link off Grapha and Security Dragon into Nightmare Cerberus, which is a Fiend. Make it so both that Muckraker and Cerberus cannot be destroyed by card effects. And it'll also clear the Ceruli off the opponent's field and get to draw there. Which I'm not sure if they missed that draw effect there. Might have happened a little too fast, but either way, they leave him on 2 cards here in an empty field. One of those cards is Lightning Storm, but it is a normal spell, so Grapha Fusion can negate. And basically make it so that the opponent, well, it just becomes like discard cards. So they discard Visa Starfrost. And yeah, they have no cards left in hand, and obviously that is just going to be game right there. And we head into game 2. Quick reminder to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm trying to post daily and trying to get to 30,000 subscribers. Hopefully by the end of the year, which I definitely think we are capable of doing. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you already have, I appreciate it. And check out the other ways you can support the channel down in the description below. So we'll see Dino get to go first here. Probably pretty glad that they can do that. I know this particular Dino player is typically fond of going second with their particular build, but you know, when you get hand looped like that, it's probably best to not gamble on going first. Because it's pretty much draw, Droll and Lockbird, or they brick, or you lose. And kind of make me want to side the Droll and Lock. I remember for a time on my stream for a while, I ran into a lot of Dark World decks, and I threw Droll into my side deck, and it definitely made the matchup not feel as intimidating having that in the side. So we're going to see him normal summon Oviraptor. Oviraptor will go ahead and search Miscellaneousaurus, activates Gold Sarcophagus. Probably see him banish Giant Rex. Giant Rex effect will go ahead and summon itself to the field since it was banished. So now has access to a rank 4 play. Could go for Dolka right off the rip. Protect from hand traps. Even more so, even though he already has the Miscellaneousaurus in hand. So we'll go for Dolka. And activate Miscellaneousaurus. And then use its graveyard effect immediately after to go ahead and banish it to summon a level 1 Dino. It's going to be the Animadorned Archosaur. That is going to destroy a UCT in the hand. Go ahead and search Double Evolution Pill. And speaking of dinos, it's very cool to see that I think I saw some new Evolzar cards. And that just is such a throwback, because I remember when I first got back into Yu-Gi-Oh! In the early days, I remember one person I used to go to locals with played Evols for a while, and that deck just was actually kind of cleaning up back then. And I think it had a little bit of like premier event success too. So very cool to see that archetype, which has seemingly been long forgotten, get some support. I think the new rank 6 they got is also really cool. Not only artwork wise, but it's a pretty good effect. So we'll see him end on Secure Gardener, Dolka, and UCT. Let's see if it's going to be enough to stop the Dark World onslaught. It'll activate Gates, activate Bigfoot, negates and destroys the Bigfoot, negates and destroys the Sneck, decides, you know, I'm going to put you on Have More Dangers here. You're not going to be able to have a way to play. So he does negate immediately the first 2 dangers, which I honestly want to say is not such a bad idea, because they are probably going to lose a lot of steam from that. Especially if they use 2 right off the rip like that. But they do hold the best one for last. Nessie will get summoned, and Snow will get discarded. Snow will go ahead and search a copy of Archives, which I do want to go ahead and quickly read Archives. But first, he'll go ahead and use Gates to go ahead and banish Snow. Discard and draw. That's going to get ashed. So our Dino player is doing everything they can to shut down this Dark World turn as quickly as possible, and it looks like it is working out for them pretty good here. It looks like they might have gone to battle phase, and UCT is just going to go ahead and book the Nessie before he has a chance to do anything there, and he'll pass turn. Would have been nice to be able to proc the Archives there, because had a original type Fiend monster been discarded by the effect of a Dark World card, they could have discarded a card and drawn 2 more cards, so that would have basically given them a draw 3 there and 2 discard opportunities, but that Ash really stopping a lot of potential card advantage from going through there, which is what they definitely need, especially after having 2 dangers essentially sniped out of the hand by the Dolka. We're going to see our Dino player just go into the battle phase, swing in with UCT, pay 1,000, send off the Nessie. Well, not pay 1,000, burn for 1,000, send off the Nessie, and swing with the Dolka, and that is just going to be game. So we see Dino bring it to a 1-1, taking it to a game 3, and we're going to see Dark World go first, setting 1, and that is usually meaning they are going to have a danger play. So they do leave with Thunderbird. Thunderbird does get special summon at the cost of Mothman being discarded. So he'll get a draw off of the Thunderbird there, and then an additional draw and discard off of the Mothman. Mothman will discard Ceruli for him. His opponent will choose to discard Slumber, which will be good graveyard setup for next turn. Easy access to a Kaiju could force out the Graphic Fusion effect very early on. Ceruli will proc now, though, discarding Rainbow. Getting to search a level 5 or higher Dark World is going to be Grapha, and since it was discarded by an opponent's card, they get to special summon a level 4 Dark World. So they get to add, or well, they get to spec Genta, and then Rainbow bounces it back, and now we're seeing them use Allure. A lot to keep track of here. And the more and more I see this deck play, The more and more it is something I would potentially like to pick up, honestly. But don't expect any Dark World content from me very, very soon, because we still got Photon Galaxy to get through. And I did want to kind of pick Rika back up a little bit afterwards, but, you know, if our fundraiser for One Deck One Month goes according to plan, you guys have the opportunity to vote and have me do a Dark World One Deck One Month, if that is what the community wants to see. But regardless, it is still something I might pick up and play in the future. So we'll see him link off both Thunderbird and the Rainbow for Akashic Magician. That's going to bounce back the Ceruli using Gates now. Banishing Genta, discarding Ceruli, drawing 1. Ceruli will get summoned to the opponent's field. That will proc, discarding Rainbow. And Rainbow's going to go ahead and add a Silva and special summon a Snow. The advantage off that is absolutely bonkers. Rainbow is going to go ahead and bounce back the Snow to the hand. Akashic Magician, not a card you really see summoned too often, but it is definitely coming in clutch in a deck like this. Uses a danger. It's going to be Chupacabra. Will get sniped. Brings back the Thunderbird. Uses another danger here. And it does not get sniped. It's going to go ahead and bring out, I think that was a Jackalope. Yep, and then he'll get the effect of Snow. Go ahead and add a Dark World card. It's going to be Dark World Accession. Should have just called it Dark World Ascension. We'll add a session. And it looks like they're going to activate a session, getting rid of Silva and Grapha to go for Grapha Overlord. The Silva effect will proc, summoning itself back to the field. Grapha will bounce it back to summon itself, and then go for the Giga Rank 8, detaching 1, draw, and burn for 800, detaching another, draw, burn for 800, detaching another, and burning for 800. 3 monsters there, 2 dangers. Might have been actually 3 dangers off of that. And then we're going to see him link for Security Dragon. And Security Dragon will go ahead and bounce back the Ceruli. And probably be about now that he could probably go ahead and get rid of that last card. See the Ceruli hit the board again. And Silva will get discarded by it. And that again will proc its effect to not only special summon it, but since it was again discarded by an opponent's card effect, they will be forced to put 2 cards back to the bottom of their deck. They'll slap down a new Gates. Activate Gates, but first bouncing back the Silva with Rainbow. Setting a card. And now bouncing back the Rainbow with Grapha and then activating Bigfoot. 6 cards in hand, and Bigfoot does get sniped. They won't use the effect though, because they probably want to keep that Ceruli on field for the time being. And they'll activate Nessie. Nessie will get sniped. And that's going to go ahead and add danger Tsuchinoko. They're going to activate Danger Mothman. 5 cards in hand now. And it does hit Mothman. They're going to use Snake. And Snake gets hit. So I think that was like, well, like 4 dangers getting hit in a row. Which is pretty hilarious. So we're going to see him go ahead and link for, probably for, I was going to say it's for Saryuja here, but it looks like they're going to go for Appaloosa. 4 material Appaloosa. And just pass on Grapha and a 4-mat Appo. So just have the opportunity to swap in, well, be a swap any, you know, monster effect or normal spell trap effect into basically your opponent discards a card. We're going to see it get Gamma Sealed and then activate the fusion spell to go ahead and bring out another Grapha Fusion. And they do have Slumber Engraved that would allow them to search another Kaiju, but the problem here is that our Dark World player controls a Kaiju monster now, so they are safe, essentially, from getting Kaiju'd. And yeah, that is going to be a little unfortunate. And the Graph Fusion does have a bit of a float effect there. Since it left the field by an opponent's card, it allows them to get Grapha back onto the board, which gives them the necessary materials to make the second one. So that's how they were easily able to get into another one. They had that fusion spell already set in the back line, of course, probably expecting a Kaiju. They'll activate Dark Hole. It'll get, in quotes, negated by the Graph Fusion, making them discard Rainbow. Rainbow will go ahead and add, I think, a Grapha and spec a Cerulea again, since it was discarded by an opponent's card. And looks like they discarded there. I'm not entirely sure why, but they're going to go ahead and go into the battle phase and attack with the Godarla over the Gamma Seal, but they're still lower in life points there because of that Coach King Giant Trainer. So we will see Dark World take it 2-1 over Dinos. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did. And last but not least, a big shout out goes to our current Divine level channel members who are Misfit, H8 Cyber, Cadillacs 84, and Pony Stark. Thank you guys so much as always for extremely kind and very generous support of this channel.